going on, everyone? So today I am giving my favorite guitar here, my dream guitar, my ESP FRX, a bit of a makeover, a little spa day, because she is crusty and dusty from loads of playing and sweat and all sorts of stuff. We have fretboard cheese, so we're gonna take care of this. But to make this video a little bit more interesting, I figured that I would answer some of your questions. So I went on my Instagram and I asked you guys what questions you had for me, and we got like hundreds of responses. So I'm gonna be going through those and answering some questions while I restring my guitar and give it a good polish and cleaning. So let's get into it. The first question that we have here is, what is your preferred guitar brand? Oopsies. My preferred guitar brand is definitely PRS. I love PRS guitars. They're just so good. So next question is, what is the first guitar solo that you learned, or the first song that you learned? So the first guitar solo that I learned was from Nothing Else Matters. I remember like I learned it like a couple days into getting my guitar. That was like the first time I ever had a distortion on my tone before, and I just thought it sounded so cool. Like it literally blew my mind. I was playing on my Ibanez, like, what was it, like an RG or something like that, the Ibanez Geo, and I had my Boss Katana amp, which I still use. It's a good practice amp. But when I learned how to like put distortion on my tone, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a guitarist and this is amazing. Why do you keep your arms hairy? I'm not gonna answer that, okay? I'm just a hairy person. What's the first guitar that you fell in love with? The first guitar I fell in love with, it was probably this one, if I'm being honest with you. This ESP, I remember in my spare time, I would just go on Reverb and look at all the guitars that I couldn't afford. And I kept coming back to this like FRX. And I thought it was just like crazy and amazing. And I was blown away by the shape and like the finish of it. There was like a gray one with a quilted maple top that I thought was really cool. And then there's this one with the liquid metal red. And that one absolutely had my heart. I thought it was just like insane looking. It's definitely like a shredding machine. So since when are you playing guitar? So I started playing guitar, it was September 2018. That's when I started. And it has been quite the journey. I've been playing for about like 5.5 years now, which it doesn't feel like it's that long, but I know it's a long time. Next question. How did you learn how to shred? I think it was just by learning solos. I mean, it was definitely by learning solos because that's what I did literally all of the time. I learned so many solos because that's like all I was interested in. I wanted to learn the flashiest part of like every single song that I could. That was solos. So I've learned like hundreds of them. But I think how I actually got good at shredding was by using a metronome, for sure. The metronome was a big thing that really helped me to improve a lot. And if you also want to get good at shredding, use your pinky and you'll be golden. Use a metronome, use your pinky. Get like a thin, not a thin pick, get a thick pick with like a good point to it, because that's gonna help you minimize like your picking movements, and that'll help you actually be able to alternate pick a lot faster. But I find that when you learn solos, you're actually learning a lot of scales and different patterns that you don't really realize that you're learning, but then it aids you in the future for writing your own solos and actually learning those scales. How and why did you start playing? Can you give us a backstory? Yes, I can. My aunt actually was taking me to concerts. So she took me to my first concert. It was a Kings of Leon concert. And at the time, like I only knew a couple songs by them. So I was excited, like it was fun. Like I really wanted to go to a live show, but the atmosphere was just really good. Like that was the first time I saw a guitarist play live, and it was just really fun. And I had a really great time watching the band and like being a part of it. And then she took me to Breaking Benjamin's show with Five Finger Death Punch. And that one was a lot of fun. I think that's when I really liked the guitar, and I knew that I wanted to play the guitar. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I could just buy one. Like, no one's stopping me from like buying a guitar and an amp and playing. I said, screw it, and I bought a guitar. I got my Ibanez Geo. It's like a black Ibanez Geo that I don't have with me. How tall are you? The guitar looks so big when you play it. I think I'm a pretty average size. I'm like 5'5", well, really like 5'4.5", but I like to give myself the extra half an inch. It's important. What song, artist, or band made you need to play guitar? So back to what I was saying before, and I'm just going in with some F1 oil and a super old dirty cloth on my fretboard. So the artist that made me want to play, it was definitely like Metallica, Kirk Hammett. I was obsessed with Metallica. I was obsessed with Slash and Guns N' Roses. Like, they definitely made me want to play. Randy Rhoads, Van Halen, those classic guys, like, all made me want to play guitar. I was a really, really big fan of all of them. Who's your guitarist idol and why? So my current guitar idols, I'm a huge fan of Marty Friedman. He is just like absolutely incredible. The way that he shreds, it's so technical but melodic. And every like scale and mode that he plays, it could be simple, but when Marty Friedman plays it, it sounds exotic. Now, another big one was Gary Moore. Like, I was a huge fan of Gary Moore. His solos were so emotional, and he would go in and shred, but keep it really like bluesy, and you know, like his guitar would just sing when he would play, and I wanted to be able to do that too. Have you ever slept with your guitar next to you in bed? No, I have never done that. I don't think my guitar would like me very much if I did that. It'd get all out of tune, and that'd be a little weird. Which is better, a new hot acoustic or electric guitar? I would probably have to go with a new electric guitar, because that's just me personally. Like, don't get me wrong, I like acoustic guitars, but come on, look at this. This is completely badass. So I'm an electric all day kind of gal. Now I'm gonna be putting on some Ernie Ball Paradigms. I play 9s through 42. So I have another question here. Do you play with a band? I do not play with a band. I've thought about it before, and I've always gone back and forth with it. I've had some opportunities to play with some big names, but I've never really done it because I just kind of found my niche, like performing and doing stuff online, and it was a good space for me. Can you do a makeup tutorial? I wouldn't really consider myself much of a good makeup artist, but I would. I feel like that would be fun. I don't know if the majority of my viewers would like a makeup tutorial, since you guys are like all men. It's like literally like 94% of you guys are men that are like just subscribed to my channel. But I would do it. It'd be fun. So, tea or coffee? Ooh, I am probably more of a coffee person because it gives me that kick that I need to get started and actually work through the day. But I am obsessed with those like bubble teas, the bobas. Oh my God, I love them. Another question I had was, what solo that you posted on social media took you the longest to be able to play? So there's some solos that I did on here that I recorded videos before, I practiced them, and I didn't end up posting them because they weren't up to my standards with the way that I played them, but I put a lot of work into be able to doing them. And one of those was the Ice Cream Man solo, played by Van Halen, well, played by Eddie Van Halen. And that one, it was the beginning that killed me, because he has this really fast, like, shreddy stretch. But it was really hard for me to be able to play as fast as he played it. And, like, when I first heard it, I thought he tapped it. And then when I saw that he just, like, played it regularly and picked each note, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to do this? So I practiced it and practiced it and practiced it, and then I recorded the video, and I was like, okay, this is good enough. And I was like, ooh, it doesn't sound quite right. And like I showed it to some other people, and they were like, I just didn't make the bar, so I had to take it back and keep practicing over and over and over again, and then they go through the whole process of recording the video again, and I finally got it. But that one took like a couple weeks to actually be able to get down. But I got it down and I was proud of myself. I was gonna give up and just be like, you know what, today's not the day. I'm not gonna be able to get this solo, like I'm not good enough yet. But I stuck with it and I ended up getting it. So another question I have is, do you play bass? Now, I do own a bass, but I don't really play it that often. If PRS offered you a free private stock build, any model and color, what would you choose? That is an insane question because I literally, like, I follow PRS's private stock on Instagram and they have some really crazy guitars, but there's one that I saw that I kept going back to, and it's this gorgeous like quilted maple top, and it's like this blue faded burst, and it's so pretty. But the thing that's like crazy about it is that on the fretboard, they have like the New York City kind of like skyline with all the buildings and everything like that. It looks insane. I need to insert a picture of this guitar here. If I could have that, my mind would be blown. So I have one that says, huge fan, do you have a desire to learn other instruments, like become a virtuoso? I do. Before I started playing the guitar, I actually played a couple different instruments. I played the flute first, and that was a long time ago when I was like in the 3rd grade. Yeah, I ended up stopping with that. And then my parents, for Christmas one year, I think I was like 10 or 11, they got me a little keyboard. I became obsessed with that. That was a lot of fun. I ended up stopping that for a little while. Like I just fell off with it or something. And then shortly after, I had discovered guitar, and that's what really stuck with me. And now I've been doing that for the past 5.5 years, and it's become more of my career. So I don't think I'm going to drop that anytime soon. How old are you? So I am 22 years old. How long did it take you to get good at guitar? So it took, I'd say I actually started getting good at about like 2 years in. We got all the strings on. That's a good sign. Will you marry me? You would be like my 58th husband. Well, I think we've come to the end here. I'm going to tune this off camera so I don't have to pain you with an hour of tuning. But we're all clean now, and she's got new strings, and I absolutely love it. This guitar is beautiful. Tell her she's pretty. Yeah, but thanks guys for tuning in and joining me for this fun little session. I love being able to hear from you guys, so leave in the comments if you have any questions and if you'd like to see a part 2, because I'd be happy to do that. I have lots of guitars that need string changes, so we could do plenty more like this. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!